He's a man who wears many hats, including instructor, storyteller, and singer. Rene Blatte introduces us to this original cowboy.
These are the Continental Mountains, just north of Cave Creek, Arizona. Property that belongs to Marshall Trimble's sister-in-law, Mary, and her son, Walker Trimble. Marshall's brother, Danny, built the ranch. It's a place that often helps Marshall look back and remember his roots, and it sometimes inspires him to sing.
Across 100 campfires on 100 rocky trails.
Marshall remembers his first guitar, a $10 Gibson his brother brought home.
He said it's $10. So I found $10 and bought the guitar and kept that for about a year, and then he came to me later and he said, I got a Martin now for $30. And a Martin, that thing would be worth thousands of dollars today. Oh, we laugh and call them windies and we say that they're not true.
Marshall says learning to play the guitar and sing was really the best way to meet girls. So meet the Gin Mill Three, formerly called the English Lords. Marshall's first band comprised of Dan and Tom Nelson, and of course Marshall in the center.
In the legends and the poems and the songs we know so well.
Marshall's induction into the Gin Mill Three began in a bar in Mesa, Arizona, with a Kingston Trio song called Scotch and Soda, sung by a musician who just wasn't performing it quite right.
He was butchering it, the chords. And so I walked up to him afterwards and I said, you know, I can show you some neat jazz-like chords on that. And it was the only jazz-like chord I knew. And I said, but I can show you how to play that on the guitar. And instead of saying, hey, mind your own business, he said, you know, I just learned that song. I've been trying to learn to play it. And he said, why don't you get up on stage and play it? So I went up on stage and played it. And then they asked me to play a couple more. And the next thing I know, they invited me to join the group.
There used to be a bar there. It was run by a man named Walt Rigney.
Marshall's music and storytelling are an intricate part of his performances, as he's entertained and educated audiences of all ages throughout the West and the country, and he still does today.
This is an old favorite song. It was written in Globe, Arizona in 1916 by a rodeo performer named Curly Fletcher. And it's called the Strawberry Roan because there's all that old adage about there never was a horse that couldn't be rode and there never was a cowboy that couldn't be throwed. So this is how she goes. I was hanging around town just a-spending my time. I was out of a job and not earning a dime when a fella steps up and he said, I suppose that you're a bronc rider from the looks of your clothes. Oh,
Marshall's music is as genuine cowboy as he is. Music that gives us insight into what cowboying is all about, and music that is sung to us from the heart. From the Golden Reef Ranch, here in the Continental Mountains, I'm Rene Blatte for Maricopa Now.